Every single day, millions of us get into a car, grab a strap of fabric, and click it into place. It's a simple 2-second action we barely even think about. But have you ever truly considered what you're holding in your hand? This isn't just a strap. It's a life-saving device with a surprisingly dramatic history, born from innovation, tragedy, and a fight against public opinion. This is the story of the seatbelt. Today, we see the seatbelt as a given, a standard piece of safety equipment. But its journey was anything but smooth. To understand its importance, we first have to go back to a time before cars even existed. The very first patent for a safety belt wasn't for an automobile, but for securing people in horse-drawn carriages and even airplanes. In the 19th century, an English engineer named George Cayley invented a rudimentary belt to keep pilots inside their gliders. But it was in the automotive world where the seat belt would find its true purpose. The early days of driving were like the Wild West. Cars were new, exciting, and incredibly dangerous. There were no speed limits, no traffic laws to speak of, and certainly no safety features. Accidents were frequent and often devastating. Doctors in the 1930s started noticing a horrifying trend: severe head injuries from crashes. A few physicians even started fitting their own cars with makeshift lap belts and urged car manufacturers to do the same. But the industry was hesitant. Their argument? Suggesting a car needed a safety belt was like admitting it was unsafe, and that was bad for business. For decades, seat belts remained a niche, optional feature often installed by enthusiasts or safety-conscious individuals. The most common type was the 2-point lap belt, similar to what you see on airplanes today. It was better than nothing, but it had its flaws. In a severe frontal collision, the lap belt could prevent you from being ejected, but your upper body would still fly forward, leading to serious internal or head injuries. Something better was needed. And that's where a man named Niels Bohlin enters our story. Bohlin wasn't a car designer. He was an engineer at Volvo who had previously worked on developing ejector seats for fighter jets. He understood the incredible forces the human body could be subjected to during sudden deceleration. Volvo, under the leadership of a CEO who had lost a relative in a car crash, was deeply committed to safety. They tasked Bohlin with creating a better seatbelt. Bohlin knew the solution had to be simple, effective, and easy to use. If it was complicated, people wouldn't use it. After much experimentation, he arrived at a design of elegant simplicity, the 3-point seat belt. It combined a lap belt and a shoulder strap into a single continuous loop. One strap went across the hips, anchoring the strong pelvic bone, while the other went diagonally across the chest, securing the robust torso. The genius of this V-shaped design was that it distributed the immense forces of a crash across the strongest parts of the body. In 1959, Volvo introduced the 3-point seat belt as standard equipment in their cars. But here's the most incredible part of the story. Volvo held the patent for this revolutionary invention. They could have made a fortune by licensing it to other car companies. But they didn't. In a landmark decision, Volvo's leadership decided that the invention was too important to keep to themselves. They made the patent open and available to all other car manufacturers for free. They believed that safety was a right, not a luxury. This single act of generosity has saved an estimated 1 million lives and countless more from serious injury. So, what exactly is this strap that holds our lives in its weave? The modern seatbelt is a marvel of material science. The webbing itself isn't just any fabric. It's made from a special type of polyester yarn, chosen for its unique combination of strength and slight elasticity. The process of making it is fascinating. It starts with thousands of individual polyester threads, each thinner than a human hair. These threads are gathered together and woven on a massive high-speed loom. The weave pattern is incredibly specific, usually a herringbone or a similar interlocking design. This isn't for looks. This pattern ensures that the force of an impact is distributed evenly across the entire width of the belt, preventing it from tearing. The weave also gives the belt a tiny bit of stretch, just a few percent. This controlled give is crucial. It helps to slow your body's deceleration by a few extra milliseconds, which can dramatically reduce the severity of internal injuries. It acts like a very, very short bungee cord. After weaving, the belt material, which is now in a huge roll many hundreds of meters long, goes through a series of finishing processes. It's heat set to lock the fibers in place and prevent fraying. It's dyed, most commonly black, but sometimes other colors to match a car's interior. Then comes one of the most important steps: quality control. Sections of the belt are subjected to brutal tests. They are pulled by machines with tens of thousands of pounds of force to test their tensile strength. They are graded against rough surfaces to check for wear resistance. They're exposed to extreme temperatures and UV light to ensure they won't degrade over time. Every single inch of seatbelt webbing has to meet incredibly strict global safety standards before it can even be considered for a car. But the webbing is only one part of the system. Let's talk about the retractor mechanism, the box that the belt spools into. This isn't just a simple spring-loaded spool. Inside is a brilliant piece of mechanical engineering designed to do one thing: lock up solid in a crush. There are two main locking mechanisms. The first one is sensitive to the car's movement. It's usually a small pendulum or a metal ball sitting in a cup. During normal driving, it stays put. But if the car suddenly stops, swerves, or rolls, inertia causes the pendulum to swing or the ball to roll out of its cup. This movement triggers a toothed gear that instantly locks the spool, preventing any more of the belt from extending. The second mechanism is sensitive to the belt speed. This is why you can't just yank the seat belt out quickly. If you pull the webbing faster than a certain speed, a centrifugal clutch inside the retractor engages, locking the spool. This dual system ensures the belt locks up no matter what kind of crash it is. And then there's the pretensioner. This is a more recent innovation that works alongside the airbag system. In the event of a crash, the same sensors that deploy the airbags also trigger the seat belt pretensioner. This is where it gets really clever. A small pyrotechnic charge, basically a tiny controlled explosion, goes off inside the retractor mechanism. This charge rapidly spins the spool backward, yanking the seatbelt tight against your body by several inches. It does this in milliseconds, literally faster than you can blink. The goal is to remove any slack in the belt, pinning you firmly into your seat just before the full force of the impact hits. This ensures you are in the optimal position for the airbag to work correctly and maximizes the effectiveness of the seat belt itself. The final piece is the buckle and the latch plate. They seem simple, but they too are built to withstand incredible forces. They are made from high-strength steel and are tested to ensure they won't break or unlatch, even in the most severe collisions. From the first simple straps in the 1930s to the integrated systems of today, the evolution has been remarkable. We've gone from simple lap belts to three-point belts, and now to smart systems with pretensioners and load limiters. Load limiters are another clever feature built into the retractor or the stitching of the belt itself. After the initial impact, they allow a tiny bit of webbing to spool out in a controlled way. This helps to reduce the immense force exerted on your chest by the belt, lowering the risk of rib fractures or internal injuries. So, the next time you get in your car and click that buckle, take a moment. You're not just performing a mundane task. You're engaging a highly sophisticated safety system, the result of decades of innovation, sacrifice, and a commitment to preserving human life. From the intricate weave of the polyester webbing to the pyrotechnic charge in the pretensioner, every component is designed with one purpose: to give you the best possible chance of walking away from a situation that, just a few decades ago, would have been unsurvivable. It's the single most effective safety device in your car, and it's a testament to the power of a simple, brilliant idea. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the history of the seatbelt. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into the everyday objects that shape our world. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.